Welcome, welcome, welcome. Coaching Youth Hoops.
Back for another episode.
Another episode. Hey, today's topic should be my life mantra.
Less is more. I know, right? I think we all can take a lesson on the court, off the court, so many places of our life applied to
As you and
simplifying
I are
instructions
as
and
you and I are
games. And
scrambling the 87 things we have to do. Uh,
yeah,
Before we jump into this was definitely my topic. Anyway,
it's obviously top
um,
of mind for a coach. Yeah.
I know. All right, so let's give a big shout out to our sponsors, Coach.
You coaches know what I'm going to say. If they've been listening to this for very long, we're so
Oh,
excited
we are.
to have Game Changer as our premier sponsor of the Coaching Youth
Hmm.
Hoops podcast. We appreciate their support.
Yes.
Um, And this is not just about the support. We love the app. This is something I pursued. So go to gc.com/ coaching youth hoop. You might, if you're a youth coach, you might know Game Changer from the baseball side, but now they have an amazing basketball app that'll provide you some insight into your games, video analysis, stats tracking, highlight reels. It also has the ability to share or to watch games live. So if a loved one can't watch their favorite player on the court, they can see the games live just through the app, gc.com/ coaching youth hoops, and it's free to coaches. Go check it out.
Yes. And practice planner too, Coach. Gotta give a big
Yep,
shout out
go
to
check
that.
out our practice planner, Coach. Coach and I spent way too many hours talk about less is more. There is absolutely no need for you to spend time creating practice plans. We've done the hard work for you. Go check them out at coachingyouthhoops.com. Answer a few questions and we'll spit out a practice plan that will get you through the entire season. But not only get you through the entire season, it will level up every player on that team. Again, coachingyouthhoops.com for more information.
All right. So the topic, less is more,
Less is more.
should be again, going back to my life, should be something I look at all the time, but not
Right?
always. Um, so I thought this was important no matter where you are in the season. If you're in the preseason, a lot of people are coming into the preseason, or maybe they're ending up their rec season or starting their spring season. Um,
Hmm.
and it, you want to simplify. Um, and I and do as I say, not as I do sometimes. Because if
Hmm.
we probably run five
Yeah.
defenses and 12 offenses, but it does make it easier on your youth players when you simplify, or any players for that sake. That I'm not under the simplify to one thing, but I'm definitely, if it's not working, get rid of it, try something new.
Yeah.
Um, you can try it, and if it don't be stubborn is what I'm telling you, that things will happen and you can find adjustments to it for sure. um that's kind of the thing that I think is important, is as far as, look at your offense. What offense are you running? Is it simple enough for them? Is there,
Hmm.
enough of what defense? Is there adjustment to that defense? But do you have 27 defenses, 43 quick hitters, 7 out of bounds plays?
Right.
It's too
Yeah.
much when
Too
you have
much. Yeah.
practice
Yeah.
twice a week for an hour
Right.
and a half. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and you got to meet kids where they're at, and our as adults, our brains are, more fully developed, and we can get things a lot quicker just by, a few
Yeah.
words. But kids can't, right?
Right.
And so they're not NBA players, and they're not college players. Maybe once you were.
Right.
So you really do have to simplify everything, not only the quantity, but when you talk about the drill or the offense you're running, you got to break that down into pieces. And I see this a lot with young youth coaches, meaning young in their coaching career, as they do too much, they talk too much, guilty.
Right.
Um, I changed the way I coach when I had a team that I was close to and said, "Coach, you talk too much in so many words," right? I'm like,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I did,
Right.
but I did.
Yeah.
Right? Just kind of in looking in retrospect. So I really try to talk in sound bites.
Yes.
I have them get about, let's call it higher than 50% uh, better at a task before I start layering,
Okay.
right? Maybe it's even closer to 60, 70% before I start layering. I want to jump to the next thing because I get excited, right? And
Right.
I know where this is going and I want to go from step one to step 10 because I know on step 10 they're going to be really good and this is really going to work. But I can't forget, like, okay, we got two practices, 3 hours in a week. There's only so much I can do, and we know basketball is complex, and stuff is gonna get thrown at us that, we need to adjust, but we just can't get it all in one practice. Or,
Right.
so
No, and the thing is you can't. Like I can't get everything in coaching 6 days a week,
yeah, right.
playing a couple games a week. I can't get everything in. So you're definitely not going to get everything in. So that's where I thought less is more is figure out what you're good at. So accentuate the positive and hide the weaknesses. Like, so
Yeah,
maybe you're a quick team. Well, maybe you want to work on your pressure more, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it is, I think that's where the pivot has to come.
yeah,
From simplifying. So take your practice plan and get rid of a third of it. Take your
mhm,
defenses and get rid of a third of it. Take your out of bounds plays, get rid of a third of it. I mean, it will make you'll become better, you'll become less stressed, the kids will execute better. um
yeah.
I'm not telling you to get rid of 70%. I'm telling you to get rid of 33%. Like right now, go next practice, get rid of a third of this stuff and
Well, and I always hear this
better.
from coaches. They don't get it. They don't understand. I would look at a mirror and say, well, you're not teaching it right.
Right.
It's too complex then. It's
Yeah.
too complicated. And uh, you- you're better, you're probably better at this. You're a teacher and you're trained. When you have a diverse group of students in a classroom, right?
Right.
Who do you teach to, right?
Yeah.
So, and
Where
it's
you have
tough
to teach to. Yeah.
or where you have to teach to, right? So that's no different on the court as well. Again,
Yeah.
simplify how you teach, simplify the number of things you're doing, um, get them to a certain point where they're grasping what you just taught last week, right? It's going to take a few practices. It might take a month, right? Because if you're
Right.
only doing two practices a week, right? Um,
Yeah. It's KISS, people. It
mhm.
really is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it
Yeah.
simple, stupid. You know. Um,
And you'll be surprised. I did that in the last two seasons, like really focus on keeping things simple. And as you said, you're going to give up things you know they should, they know they need, but you just can't do everything. You have to prioritize, what do they need the most? So, although I'm a defensive guy, I had to focus on offense and
right.
build up their basketball IQ on the offensive side and be okay at defense.
Yeah.
Right now, they got there. I'm satisfied of where their development is. So now we're going to come back and really focus on defense. We're going
Right.
to double down on it, spend most of our time and most of my focus on defense
And leaning into it. You got to
and
lean
leaning
into it.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and go vertical, right?
It's whatever you tell them, whatever you emphasize they're going to do. And if you're emphasizing something, that's why I'm saying that's why the simplifying is important because you'll emphasize helpline, you'll emphasize no
Yeah.
direct line drives, you'll emphasize rebounding, whatever you emphasize they're going to do better. um and
And no
that's
doubt it's going to be frustrating because, I'm watching my team on the court. Just the biggest thing for me has always been that they just don't pressure,
right.
right? And the offense can do whatever they want. Thankfully, they're still okay defenders, but it's like if you bother the person with the ball,
Right.
right, it's gonna be hard to run their offense, right?
Yeah.
And when they do a really good job. But again, I had to give that up, right? And it's frustrating sometimes to see that, but the offense, if The offense was just horrendous when we first started. So I was like, okay, little
You have
ball,
to,
big hoop.
yeah.
I can teach them defense, but then they're going to turn it over in the offense. Yeah, no, it's like,
You're
what do I
fighting
do?
this. Yes,
So
you're fighting this yin and yang thing.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So
all right, coach, anything else? Summarize that.
yeah, just coaches, just take a look at your playbook, take a look at your drill, make sure one, you're talking less, two, you're breaking the game down and breaking your off, let's just call it breaking your offense down or anything you're teaching into the smallest components to meet your students' development where they're at. And then I think the last thing here is yes, you might be frustrated, but you do have to just oversimplify that playbook to keep um, to, to keep the kids in, to give them what they need, and just recognize the fact that you're not going to get everything in 3 hours in a week. So it's just not going to
Amen.
happen.
Amen. All right. Game changer. Give big shout out to Game Changer,
Yeah,
coach.
coaches, go check out gc.com/coaching youth hoops.
All right.
Free app for coaches.
Free app.
Go
You'll
download it.
use it. I use it all fall. It's awesome. All right. Till next week, coach.
Till next week.